Happy Sunday morning, everybody. How's it going out there in YouTube land? It's Jake. I'm fixing to start another cabin build. We're going to try to build this one as economically as we can too. We've already bought the roofing metal for it. It's going to be an A-frame. And what I'm working on right now is preparing the runners. I'm treating the runners, the 4x4 runners that'll be underneath it for support before we start framing this thing out, framing the floor and stuff. So I'm going to kind of video this thing step by step in the build process of it. And right here you can see the runners. Got a little concoction I mix up to stain them with to preserve them. So let me get this camera set up. I'll show you how I'm applying this stuff. Okay, back with you guys. I did 3 sides of this yesterday, and now we're going to flip her over and get the bottom side. This will be the bottom of the runners. We're going to get these things flipped over, and I've got this old time mixture. I'm not sure it's EPA approved, but it's an old time mixture that old timers have been using forever. And to treat trailers and posts and stuff when they're putting them in the ground. And these won't be on the ground. These will be sitting actually on caps, concrete piers. But we want to protect them from any kind of moisture, ground moisture, anything getting on them. So just kind of apply this stuff like you do brushing paint on anything else. And I'll probably do this a couple of times. I'll probably put about 2 good coats on it. And that way it's good and preserved. We've been using this mixture all my life for treating fence posts before we put them in the ground. So just get it on there generously, and this will seal it up and keep water off of it, and definitely should repel any kind of insects. They don't want any part of this stuff. And so we're doing this to both of them. I don't know if you can hear me or not because I'm walking away from the camera, but we're just putting it on. It's not super heavy, but a generous amount, and it'll absorb it. And it should need it again because all this is going to be under the A-frame cabin. It's all going to be covered, so it shouldn't need it again. We're going to build these little A-frame cabins and a couple of conventional cabins. I say conventional cabins, standard wall cabins, 7, 8 foot tall walls, and kind of like the other cabin. Thinking about setting these things up as an Airbnb on the farm, so people get away and come out by the lake and have a relaxing time as off-grid cabins. We'll see. I thought I'd take you along on the journey of this A-frame. I've never built an A-frame before, so this is going to be a new experience for me. I've never done it. I've built conventional houses with steep roofs, but never thrown together an A-frame. But we've already bought the metal for the roof on this thing, so we're going to get to it. We've had a lot of snow, so we haven't been able to do anything out here. And it's starting to melt away now. It's supposed to be 55 here today, 60 something tomorrow. So well, we've got that done, so I'm going to let that set. I'm going to let that sit. You can see I got it under pretty generously. So I can get this thing to look down. You can see that on there pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry, and tomorrow or the next day should be dry enough for me to mark on it to lay out the floor joists and get those going. And we've already acquired the plywood decking for the floor. It was gifted to me by a friend of mine. He had some extra stuff from a job he had done, and he gifted that to me. So, and again, the sawmill, I will mill all of my rafters and my lats for the metal roofing. And so this is we're trying to do this thing as economically as we can. If I can't acquire a door from Facebook Marketplace or from another friend that's got plenty of doors in the barn he'll never use, we'll see how that goes. But if not, then we'll do what we got to do. But we're hoping this thing will come in the $500 range. Since we're salvaging most of the material for it, we're hoping it'll come in, between $500-600 range, somewhere in there. I think we've got $350 in the roofing metal already for it. That's brand new roofing we bought. This thing will be a 10 by 12. We're using 12-foot rafters, so it's just a little tiny cabin. We'll see how it goes. Just a little tiny A-frame. So follow the bill, guys. Like and subscribe. Hey guys, I'm back down here again at the sawmill. A while ago I showed you how I was treating the 4x4 runners for this A-frame cabin we're going to build. This 10 by 12 A-frame cabin. We've never built one before, but we're fixing to try it and see how it goes. Hopefully it turned out all right. We're going to try to do this thing under $600 by milling our lumber up ourselves. Like I said, I've got some plywood that was donated to me for the subfloor. We bought the metal roofing. That was a little over $300. Let's see. We've got, we've already got our nails and things like that. What we're going to have to get is the plywood for the roof decking, and then maybe some 1/4 inch or something like that, something to finish the inside out. We're hoping we can finish this thing out for less than $600. We've got some one buys that we can use for the interior walls for trimming them out after we put the insulation and stuff in. So hopefully this will work. We're gonna try it and see, and maybe turn these things into Airbnbs or something. But I'm gonna flip this thing around and show you what I'm doing with how I'm marking this out. I've got a scale on my sawmill. Has a scale on it. You can see it right here. Right here. Here's the scale on it for the measurements for the thickness of the timber we're cutting. But I went ahead and marked it with a marker to get a little more accurate for these floor joists or rafters, whichever one I use this with. This cant that I'm using is southern yellow pine. We cut these trees a couple of weeks ago. Well, this one big tree, and I've got this one already squared, and I've got another big one right over there. You can see it between sawmill barn and the house. It's coming on here next after I mill this one up, and we're going to use it to do whatever else we need for this cabin. So I'll show you right here. Let me turn this camera down. I'll show you where I marked this thing. Let's see if we can get that. You can see where I marked these lines on here for the different thicknesses of the rafters that I'm cutting. So let me set this thing up on a tripod, fire this sawmill up, and I'll let you watch me cut a couple of them. Okay, as you can see, it's not really hard to do. This is I guess this is Wood Miser's entry-level sawmill. It's an LX25, and it does a good job for what I'm doing with it. I just mill up stuff we have and logs that we have, and use it for our own personal use. So it's not it's not a commercial sawmill, but it does do a great job on what we do with it. So we built a little tiny cabin with it, and now we're going to build this A-frame using it, and so it's going to work pretty good. These are full 2x12s. You can see them. These are full-size 2x12s. That's what we're cutting with it, and it does a pretty good job. I'm gonna finish milling this thing up. I didn't want to run the camera all this time doing it because it'd be a long video. But I've got about 3 or 4 more cuts to make there. Then I'll stand them up edgewise and cut them into 2x6s, and that's what we're either going to use for the floor joists, or we're going to use them for the rafters. One of the two. They'll work for either one. It's a 12.5-foot log that would give me my 12-foot rafters or my 10-foot floor joists, whichever one. So we'll decide, and I'll show you the process of that when we start putting that together next. All right, thanks. Like and subscribe.